Yeah. So today we are going to learn how to provide security for your pages, web pages. Security for what? Web pages. In that, first we'll discuss what is called authentication and what is authorization. Authentication, general classification for authentication is something like providing username and password as a pair. Username and password as a pair. Okay, and it will give you as an identity for communicating with web page. Authorization is what? Once authentication is done, once you are confirmed that you are an authorized user, your authenticated user, like your username and password is found to be accurate, then comes authorization. Authorization. After when the authorization comes? After authentication. And authorization is what? That whether you are allowed to access a particular web page or not. And we are going to learn this authentication part in two ways. Forms authentication we'll discuss, and Windows authentication. Two authentication types we'll see. First one we'll discuss is forms authentication. So file, new, website. Website 32. Let's continue with this. Say okay. Yes. Now what to do? We'll add one web page. Add new item, web form. Name is default.aspx. Click on add. Click on. Yeah. Then we'll give the information. This is home page of website. Breakline. Static message I'm giving. I'm not designing anything. The confirmation, I just mean that it is a home page of our website. Okay. Then next what I do is go to Solution Explorer, create one folder, right click, add new, sorry, folder I need. First we'll add folder, right click, add new folder. Folder name I'll write as secured. So now you need to understand that whatever the web pages that I add in this folder, I want to have, I want to restrict it for what? Accessing. I want to restrict for what? Accessing. Okay. Now in this secured folder also, I want to add a web page again. Add new item, web form, give the same name, default.aspx. Now this time I'll give the message as this is secured folder default page. Breakline. This is secured folder. Instead of default, better I call web page. Secured folder, web page it is. What is that you have mentioned in the default, previous default? Home page of website. This is default, this is secured folder, web page. So now with this, you can just go through the Solution Explorer, can understand now that you have two default.aspx file. One in secured folder, one in root folder. One in secured, one in root. two default.aspx files you have. Okay. Now, simple conclusion. What I would do now is I want to just make a link. I want to link them. So what sort of link? Like if I click on to default.aspx in the default aspx of root, it should go to secured folder, default.aspx. Just the control should go to that location. Control should open that page. Control should open that page. That it should do. Okay, let's see that now. Default.aspx. Here I simply go to Solution Explorer, drag and drop so that you can link it. Okay. Go to design window. This is what happens. Let's run them. Yes. Home page I'm executing. Home page. Yeah, home page is being displayed. Now when I click on this, so obviously it will go to default.aspx of which folder? Secured folder. Yes, it opened. Means as of now, whatever is your web application, it is designed in such a way that it doesn't have any security. Neither you have authentication in it, nor you have authorization in it. Both are missing. I didn't say that because I created a secured folder name as secured that your web page has become secured. It's not like that. We created a folder only for our identification, that all the web pages that I create in secured folder, I want it to get authorized before those web pages are accessed. That is what I'm looking for. Do you understand? Okay. But currently, no such scenario. No such scenario. Okay. So currently, no security, because from root page, web page, we are in a position to go to default.aspx of what? Secured folder. Directly it's accessing. You might have noticed it. What is our aim then? What is our aim? You want to have security. You want to get authorized before page is accessed. Okay, so now what I do? Solution Explorer. In secured folder, I'll add a web.config. Web.config. Click on add. Yes. Already now two web.configs you have. One web.config is in secured folder. One web.config is in root folder. Okay, just I added. I didn't add any code still in it. Okay, let it be. Execute the code now. Click on this. Accessing now also. Okay, now again, web.config which you just now added. Go there. Now I add authorization. Then I say allow users start Star indicates any user. Then I add deny users equal to question mark. Question mark in the sense unauthorized users. Star indicates all users. Question mark indicates unauthorized. Okay. Just what did you add now? These three lines you added. Authorization, allow, deny. Three. Okay. Let's go for again execution. Click onto that link. Now also it is accessing. Okay. Then do one thing. Go to web.config. Simply make these two things swap. First you write deny, then you write allow. Okay. Now go to default.hpx, run the code. Now you click on it. Earlier we didn't get. And you read the message, access is denied. And you got a message, unauthorized, log on failed due to server configuration. So now I come with this conclusion and remember this. Remember this forever. This is most important point. Whenever you go with authorization, the rule is first you should write deny, then you should write allow. Because if you write allow first, then deny loses its importance. Deny has no more any sort of working in your application. Sequence should be what? What should be the sequence? First you should write deny, then you should write allow. And you see, the moment you interchange those statements, now when you clicked on to this default page, got error. Over, now you cannot access that page. It's like sort of security. That is what we notice even in when you access your web applications. Real-time web applications also. Whatever is given for you for accessing to an end user, only those you're supposed to access. You try to access their official information, definitely you try to access, they'll give the message. Access is denied. Or you don't have privileges to access. Or you're like unauthorized. It means direct, you don't have authorization. Okay. Now what to do then? Before accessing a web page available in secured folder, now we want to have authentication as well. How would you do that? Go to Solution Explorer. Open web.config of root folder. Root folder. What do you need here? Yes, you need now authentication. Mode equal to forms. Yes, authentication. Mode is what now? Forms. Then in this authentication, um, forms, close the form. In the forms, you'll have credentials. And here you will write user name equal to U1, password equal to P1. These are users now who are authorized to access our web pages. But this is wrong. Like this, real time we don't give. Like this, we don't give. What do you call users to access the web pages? This is wrong. We check that user through database, not this technique. This is only to demonstrate. You can make the code coming from database. From a table, you have to access your username and password. Save. Now, what do you want to do? Whenever you try to access secured page folder, secured folder web page, since you're not authorized, you should be redirected. You should be redirected. Where? To login page. You should be redirected to where? Login page. So for that reason, I will add now. I will add login page. Web form. Here I give login.aspx. Click on add. Yes, now here I give ASP label run at server ID LBL error. This is an indication of 4 color equal to red. Break. Username. Text box. Run at server ID txt username. Then password. Text box run at server ID txt password. Then break line. What more we'll try? Okay, this also will add in our website. ASP checkbox. Oh, remember password will be there now, usually. That I'm trying to remember me. Remember me. Button. Run at server. Text equal to log on. ID equals to btn log on. Yeah, try one. Just see the page how it looks like. Yeah, that log on button will take next line only. break line, break line. Yeah. So if you want password to remember, then okay, let's try now. Whether you get this page or not. Run the code, click on it. Did you ask for login.aspx page? Did you ask that? Anywhere did you say that you want this page? No, we didn't mention anywhere. An interesting thing is it accessed your page automatically. For understanding, I'm doing this only for understanding. If I rename this page to something else, then question is, will it allow you to access that page at that time? Okay. I just renamed, calling it as test. Okay. I renamed it. Nothing I did, please understand clearly. I just have named test.aspx. Okay. Go to again root. Click on this. What's the message? Resource cannot be found. So for that reason, now when the page was by name login.aspx, it was accessing perfectly. Even though we didn't call anywhere. That sounds interesting actually in this web pages concept. Security part. So here in forms under root web.config where you have mentioned about authentication, here I write now login URL. There is a property called login URL. Login URL. Which page? What's the name you give? Test.aspx. Yes. What's the page name you gave? Test.aspx. Now again start from the beginning. Click on it. Yes. Now you can see very clearly that it has called even when your page is with a different name. If it is login.aspx, if you give your file name as login.aspx, this becomes optional. Automatically login page will be called. But when you give your different page name, login.url becomes mandatory. It will not call test.aspx. So only for you to understand, I have done that. Otherwise, I'll just change the name to login. However, this is for demonstration point of view. And moreover, it is optional. I very clearly have mentioned both the cases. Let's come again. Yes. Any questions you want to ask here, you can. But remember, even when you join as a ASP.NET programmer, this becomes compulsory for you to have a very strong knowledge on security. Romana, is everything clear at your end, Romana? Romana, are you there? Okay, might be she's away from the system. Anand, was everything clear at your end? Okay. Okay, that's fine then. Okay. Now what next to do? Now, what next to do is one more interesting thing. Before I go even with the coding part, this one also I would like to highlight first. Okay, then I'll talk about coding. Check this now. Where you were, where you were actually, when when I've executed my application, I'm asking you, we were in which page? Or I'm asking you, being in which page we have executed our application? Anand, which default.spx? Home, home page. Exactly. Correct. Home page, correct. You're right, not secure. Home page. Correct, not secure is also fine. Home page is not secure. That is available for everyone. Correct, Srinivas, correct. So you were in home page. From there, what you tried to access from that home page, what you tried to access? Yes. But are you able to access that? No. No. We were not authorized to access that page. Then who redirected you to login.aspx? Who has asked you to go to login.aspx? Web.config. Who asked? Web.config has redirected you to login.aspx. Now everything is available here. That Currently, you are in login.aspx. Automatically, query string is added. Query string is added with name and value pair. Name is return URL. Value is secured folder default.aspx. It means you were trying to access secured folder default.aspx without accessing, because you're not authenticated, you're not authorized. It has returned you to login.aspx. Once you give correct username and password, and when you click on log on, direct it will access you secured folder default page. I once again repeat, listen carefully. Once you give correct username and password, when you click on log on, what will happen? Control will directly take you to default.aspx of secured folder. How? Because we have mentioned there that it should access return URL, name value pair. It should go to that login, that web page which is available in secured folder. That is what the meaning is. Anand, you're listening or not? Hmm. Okay. This is also important. Don't forget that there is a what query string available in the URL. Query string available with what name value pair? What is that name value pair? Return URL. Okay, okay. Now username I should give. Username. U1. Password I should give. P1. Log on. Nothing. Why? Because you didn't write code for it. You didn't write code. Because whatever username password which you're giving, it should be checked now. Where it should check? Currently for us, it should check in web.config. Real time. It should check this username and password in database. Then I'll say no. What I'll say? Double click on log on button. First get username and password. String username equal to txt username dot text. String password is equal to txt password dot text. Yes. If you want your Active Directory authentication, then I think you should have Windows Server as compulsory for that. Windows Server OS. Because for our Windows, since this is considered to be your single user OS, all Windows operating system, they are considered as single user OS. If it is that you have um, Windows or if you are working with Windows Server OS, whether it is Windows 2000 Server, 2003 Server, 2008 Server, 2012 Server, then you could experience for Active Directory, because when I implemented SQL Server, then to have what you call perfect security to your database. At that time, I used to have this implementation part of Active Directory, and that Active Directory was available. I mean, as my knowledge, I'm saying what I have experienced. That part I'm sharing with you. I used to have it on Windows 2003 server. On Windows 2003 server, we used to have that Active Directory. So in connecting with that, I'm comparing and saying that Active Directory may not be available for our OS on which we are working. Okay. Still to the reference to your query, Srinivas, I'll once check out even on Windows 10. Do we have any direct option available to have Active Directory authentication? If it is there, then tomorrow's class may just once remind me. I'll definitely get back to you on this point, because I'm not sure on Windows 10. I'm not sure, but other operating systems we don't have at all, and compulsory Windows Server is needed. Because why I'm saying is, for SQL Server, when we used to work with Windows Server, we used to have one special protocol to work on SQL Server through Active Directory services. You understand? That's called POP protocol. POP. It's called Post Office Protocol. Yeah, it's client OS. All Windows operating systems. Microsoft has its own multi-user OS. Windows Server OS is multi-user. Windows Server, Windows NT used to be there. Network technology. Before Windows Server, they used to have Windows NT as multi-user. After that, they have come up with Windows Server. In that, they have versions again. 2000. I worked on 2000 server. I have idea on 2003 server also. From then, I am not in touch with those servers actually. 2008, 2012. These are the latest servers that even Microsoft introduced for Windows, which purely comes as multi-user operating system. Do you understand? I'll check out once, okay? Okay. So there is some code to write here. Next.